Hello student and welcome to week 7. In this week we are going to move to design our online course by using instructional design models. You already learned about the ID model, SAM model, design thinking, and today we are going to learn about the backward design model. From its title, backward design, that means it starts from the end of the course, from identifying the desired result of your course, or from identifying the overall goal of your online courses. And then it will be aligned with the assessment, and then with the learning experiences, which is the instructional strategies and the learning activities, aligned also with the content and resources and technology that you are going to use in delivering your online course. The backward design is launched by the McTighe and Wiggins, and they wrote a book. It's entitled Understanding by Design, and it's available online. You can download it for free. You can read it to gain more information about the backward design. So the backward design, as I mentioned in my previous slide, it starts from the end of the course by identifying the desired result of your online course, and it's characterized by the constructive alignment. So it focuses to align the learning outcomes with the assessment methods, and then with the instructional strategies and the learning activities you are going to use to deliver your online course in order to achieve the learning outcomes of your course. And we'll learn about each step in the next slides. So McTighe and Wiggins, they try to pay educators' attention to focus on the learning, not on the teaching itself. For this reason, they found the backward design model in order to focus on the learning itself. And when they focus on the learning itself, they provide them a guideline how they can teach effectively. So there are 3 steps for the backward design. The first step is identify desired result. The second step is determine assessment evidence. The third step is plan learning experiences and instructions. When you define or identify the desired result or the overall goal for your online course, that means you are going to identify the learning outcomes for your online course. And then in the second step, after you define the determined assessment evidence, that means you will determine what are the assessment methods that you are going to assess students' knowledge and skills from the course. And the third step is planning learning experiences and instructions, means that here you need to identify what are the instructional strategies you are going to use, how they are going to perform it, what are the content they are going to focus on, if there is any supplemental resources, what kind of technology they are going to use in order to perform those instructional strategies in order to accomplish the learning outcomes. But in your mind always, when you design the assessment method, you assess students in order to accomplish the aligning learning outcomes. And also, when you design your learning experiences, also you think how those strategies and learning activities and content and resources and technology will help to accomplish the learning outcomes for your online course. Let's dive into those steps here in this slide. In the first step, to identify the desired result, you need to ask yourself what knowledge, skills, and abilities should learners master at the end of your course. What are the big ideas you want to focus on? What we mean about the big ideas, that mean the essential concepts that learners should retain and be able to transfer in other contexts, not only in your course. For example, now you are learning how to design a meaningful online courses. That means After your graduation, you will be able to design any online course by applying the attributes of meaningful online learning and also the instructional strategies. So this is what we mean about the big ideas. The big ideas that will remain with you. You are not going to forget it, or you don't use it, but you have to apply it. You can apply it. You will have the ability to apply it in other courses after completing this course or in your career. Or we can say, what are the key results of your online courses or for the courses that you design? It's online, or maybe either it's blended learning or face-to-face or professional development or training programs, so you can use the same steps and the same attributes. The second step, to determine the assessment evidence, you need to ask yourself, how will I know if my students have achieved the desired result or the identified goal of my course? What will I accept as evidence of a student's understanding and proficiency? How you make sure that your students accomplish the required knowledge and required skills from your course? What are the evaluation criteria? How you are going to assess and evaluate your students' performance in the knowledge and in the skills? Are you going to use a rubric, for example? And then in the third step, the plan learning experiences. So you need to ask yourself what knowledge or the content, either facts, concepts, principles, and the skills, either it could be a process, procedures, or strategies, will students need in order to perform effectively and achieve the desired result and the end goal of your course? What activities will equip students with the needed knowledge and skills? What will need to be taught and coached? What are the content you are going to teach your students? And what material and resources you can provide for students in order to support them to gain those knowledge and skills? So in the first step, to identify the desired result, how you are going to identify this desired result, how you are going to identify and determine and decide the end goal of your online course. So here is we need to focus on only the enduring understanding. What we mean about the enduring understanding, we mean it's the big ideas of your course. What the key knowledge and skills will the students acquire as the result of your course or as the result of your lesson plan or the unit. And we mean here about the big idea, the key result of your course. Like in our course here, the key result is to design an effective online course. This is my desired result of my course. So I need you, after completing this course, to be able to design any meaningful courses, online courses or blended courses or face-to-face courses. So let's take an example. For example, in this course, in the distance education and the use of internet, the desired result is to design an online course. As you see, this result is authentic learning. It's related to your field. Learning is meaningful. So at the end, I'm not going to give you only the concept, but also I'm asking you to apply what you have learned into real practices, and also it's intentional learning. So at the end you will have a tangible and useful product of your online courses. So it should be tangible, should be authentic, should be intentional. So this is the main goal of your course, which is the enduring understanding. After you define the desired result of your course, now it's the time to design and to write your learning outcomes of the course. And don't forget, to write the learning outcomes, you need to use the Bloom's taxonomy, and we need to focus on the higher order thinking skills. Let's take an example about the enduring understanding or the big ideas. For example, this is to predict an effective story, engage the reader by setting up tensions about what will happen next. So for example, your students will read a story. So are you going to ask them, who are the characters, the characters in the story, where they go, what's the end of the story. No, this is direct questions, but we don't want only to understand the audience and the purpose, but we need them to predict what will happen next. So this is we can improve the metacognition with the skin, critical thinking, for example, problem solving if there is any conflict in the story, so they can, for example, propose another end for this story. And this is the enduring understanding. And also to explain, for example, when water disappears, it turns into water vapor and can reappear as liquid if the water is cooled. So this is a critical thinking, and we can when they understand and they can explain how this happens, that means this is an enduring understanding. And then in the step 2, it's about the assessment. So you need to think like an assessors or evaluators to gather evidence at several points. We can see now the traditional assessment, which like exams and quizzes, it's only used for assessing essential knowledge and skills that needed for the evaluating a student's knowledge about the topic. But what we mean about here, we mean to move to the authentic assessment and performance-based assessment. So we need to assess a student's knowledge through evaluating the skills by applying the knowledge they have learned in the course into the skills, into applying those knowledge and those skills in authentic product. And also we provide them a rubric how we are going to evaluate them in those products, so we can give them comments, we can give them feedbacks in order to improve their performance. So here is, let's compare between the traditional assessment, which focus only on the lower level thinking skills like exams and tests, quizzes, short answers, fill in the blanks, multiple choice questions, and other such those kind of assessment. However, the performance-based assessments, it's focus on the higher order thinking skills, and we can give your students or your audience open-ended questions, oral presentations, problem solving, experiment, portfolio, reflection projects, and of course you have to give them rubrics to show them how you are going to evaluate them in their performance. So there are three types of assessment: the preliminary assessment, formative assessment, and summative assessment. Preliminary assessment, it's more like the analysis phase in instructional design, when you collect and gather data about your audience, about their knowledge, about their prior knowledge, about the skills they have, and about their disability, about the difficulties they face, about their needs and interests, for example. And then in the formative assessments, it's about conducting during the teaching process or during the training, when you want to collect feedback in order to make sure that the students at this level or at this stage, they gain the required knowledge and skills from your courses. And summative assessment, of course, it's happened at the end of the course or at the end of the semester, which provide evidence of your participants' performance. And as I mentioned, you can give them like designing a portfolio, writing a reflection, for example. And of course, there should be a rubric when you evaluate your audience in the product. Let's see here how you can collect those assessment evidence. If you want to use quizzes and exams, you are going to use only for the knowledge and the skills that they should know, but it's not going to remain in their mind forever, so they cannot transfer to another context, just the knowledge about the concept, about their memorization and recalling. But if you want to assess the enduring understanding of your students, that means you need to apply the performance-based assessment like project, projects, open-ended, it should be complex, it should be authentic, it should be intentional. So in assessing your students' performing by using the performance-based assessment, you need to develop rubrics. So the rubrics, it helps you to make grading criteria visible to your students. It reduces also your bias as a trainer or teacher or instructional designer. Also, you maintain focus on the content, on your audience performance, and on the standard that you want to equip students about them. And this is example of the rubric. You need to write the criteria here and what are the grading about their performance, if they are experts, what is their mark, if they are accomplished or capable or beginners, for example. And then you need to provide description for each criteria in order to make them visible to students, so students can, for example, if they feel their work is here, they can improve it in order to reach the expert level. And this is another example of the rubric. Let me open it. For example, this is for a video project rubric. So I'm going you to assist you in the citation, in writing the storyboard, in the content and organization of your idea. What's about the introduction, how you deliver it, about the production quality, the video editing quality, the audio editing, the lighting, the camera, the graphics, the copyright, and everything is related to the video production. Any assessment you design should have clearly articulated the criteria. So the criteria should be visible for students, be valid and reliable. So when you write the description of your criteria, should align to the skills and knowledge they have studied in the course, and also provide sufficient measure of the desired result. It should be focused on the main goal of the assignment, and also it encourages your student to self-assess their own learning by understanding the criteria of the rubric. Okay, so now we have finished with the step 1 and step 2. Now we are moving to the step 3, which is plan learning experiences and instruction. In here, you need to identify the facts or the concepts or the knowledge or the content students will need to understand and to learn in order to complete the performance task or the project for their online course. And also you need to identify the instructional strategies. You need also to identify the learning activities, the material resources, and also the technology that align with the assessment and also align with the learning outcomes. So here, when you plan learning experiences, or when you determine what are the instructional strategies, you need to focus on the active learning, more on making the students passive. So you need to, for example, focus on the doing the real thing by giving them authentic assignment, intentional assignments, active assignments, ask students to construct knowledge and to collaborate with each other, not only give them to read and then to reflect on it. So let's see how you are going to design the plan learning experiences. So here you need to determine what are the instructional strategies you are going to use. Are you going to use the supportive strategy, and which strategy from the supportive strategy, which strategy from the dialogic strategy, which strategy from the exploratory instructional strategies, and how they are going to perform it, what are the learning activities they are going to use, what are the instructions, what the content they are going to study by using those instructional strategies in order to accomplish the learning outcomes, what are the extra resources I can provide them, what technology they can use in order to perform those tasks or those instructional strategies, and so on. So don't forget, when you determine the instructional strategies for this step 3, you need to apply those instructional strategies that you have learned about them. And this is an example of for example, this is a design for fully online course synchronous. So here I have the alignment of the desired result or the learning outcomes with the assessment evidence with the learning experience. Let's take an example. The desired result, for example, for your online course, to apply different strategies for engaging students in distance education programs. And then, so what are the assessment evidence that align with the desired result and that help to accomplish this learning outcomes? For example, I have a graded task to design a lesson plan based on meaningful online learning principles, and here I'm going to use also rubric in order to evaluate your performance. And also there should be an alignment with the learning experiences. That means I need to define or determine the instructional strategies, for example, for collaboration and exploration, the activity, watch a video to extract the principles of meaningful online learning, and to provide supporting evidence based on your understanding from the video. Also, you need to determine the content and resources like the instructor lecture, articles, and videos, and what are the technology that can help them in order to perform and to complete this task. They are going, because it's collaboration, they are going to use Google Meet and also the Jamboard. Also, they can meet, for example, through the breakout rooms. For designing your online course by using backward model design, you can use this format to align your learning outcomes with the assessment, with the teaching or instructional strategies, with the resources, with the content, and also with the technology, for example. Or you can use this template for the backward design, and here in the stage when you will define your desired result, you will respond to those question, and here also the assessment and evidence, and also you need to answer those questions as I explained in my presentation on my slides. And step 3, it's also about the plan learning experiences, and also you need to answer those questions. Now we are in week 7, so we reach the assignment 2. Now you have learned about the meaningful online learning attributes, how you can design meaningful online courses by applying the active, constructive, cooperative, intentional, and authentic learning. And also you learn about the instructional strategies, which are the supportive strategies, dialogic strategies, and exploratory strategies. So now you are able to design your online course by using one of the instructional design model, which is the backward design. So please read the instructions for the assignment 2 in model. I'm providing you the whole detailed instructions. Also, I'm providing you examples of this assignment 2, and also I will record you a video about the assignment 2. So here in this assignment, in your group, of course, you will create an instructional design plan for an online course by selecting a topic, problem, issue, or trend based on your interest and relevance to your specialization. Online course should consist of 4 weeks of instructions to be delivered entirely online. It should be a mix or a combination of synchronous and asynchronous. For developing the plan of your online course, you can use a given template of backward design, applying the principles and components of meaningful online learning. You can select to design online course, or maybe professional development, or maybe a training, or for K-12, for example, lesson plan. At the end, keep in your mind, in the assignment 3, it will be based on the plan or the syllabus for the assignment 2. So please be reliable in the content, in the activities, in the instructional strategies you are going to plan for. And this is the presentation for week 7. I hope it's useful and informative. Please find more details in Moodle. Thank you.